Okay, now happy Halloween. So for Halloween I decided to do a video mainly talking about recommending movies to watch around the time of Halloween, like around October and stuff, since there's some pretty good movies that are fun to watch. Now, I'm gonna start off by talking about some horror films. Now, they're not just horror films, maybe they're films in general that people might watch a lot during Halloween, like myself. Okay, so now I'm gonna start off this video now talking about Cabin in the Woods. Now, this movie I think is pretty good. It's very clever, and it sort of makes fun of horror movie cliches, and that's some of the things I think is funny about this film. And also, the scary parts are creative, and I think this is a good movie to watch, especially around the month of October, or around Halloween. So right here, Cabin in the Woods, pretty good movie. Okay, now next one is Young Frankenstein. Now this movie I've seen quite a lot in the past, and this movie I really enjoyed a lot. It is really funny. It's not a horror film, but yeah, it is pretty good. So it's a Mel Brooks film. So yeah, here it is. Young Frankenstein, definitely worth checking out. Alright, if you haven't already. So now the next movie is the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Alright, so here it is. Now this is a movie that, as a tradition, has been played in theaters pretty much every Halloween. So it's been re-released in the theaters so many times and is now considered a cult classic. And I really liked this film. Now, I'm not a really big fan of musicals, but I personally thought this movie stood out to being pretty good, and yeah, that's why I'm recommending this film. So right here, the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Alright, so next movie, now this movie is a classic for sure. It is the original Poltergeist, right here. Okay, so this is the movie. Alright, so this is the 25th year anniversary of it. Okay, has a slip-on cover. Now, they recently did a remake that I saw in theaters that I reviewed, but that one I thought was fairly decent. But this movie is without a doubt a classic in the horror genre. It's like a haunted house movie. If you're a horror fan that liked some of the older horror films, you've probably heard of this film. It's, for the time this film came out, it was pretty scary. And yeah, the creepy parts still kind of hold up today, and this movie I really liked, and I can definitely see why it's considered a cult classic. Definitely worth watching on Halloween. So right here is Poltergeist. Okay, so next one is John Carpenter's Halloween. Alright, now this movie is the 1978 cult classic horror film of Michael Myers, and it's titled The Night He Came Home, or that's sort of like the tagline. Alright, now here it is. Now this movie is for sure a classic, and it has Jamie Lee Curtis in the film. Alright, so many horror fans have seen this on Halloween. It's definitely a great movie, and so it's pretty much it's about Michael Myers as a kid, and he kills his family. And he kills his sister, and he goes back for revenge, and it's a really good film. Alright, now the final movie I decided to show was The Evil Dead. Now, I've recently reviewed this film. Now, this for sure is a classic. The special effects with the gore have really stood out pretty well in this film a lot for today. They did a remake. I have not yet seen that, but here it is, the original Evil Dead movie. Now, this movie, it's a classic. Horror fans love this film. I personally loved it a lot. It is a really brilliant film for sure, and really entertaining. So yeah, here it is. It's also a pretty low budget film as well, so there it is. Alright, so these are the movies I mainly talked about. Okay, So there they are. Alright, so that's gonna be about it for this video. So happy Halloween, and that's it. Bye.